All right. Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. And today we're going to be looking at fitness, but with a bit of a twist,
Yeah.
right? We're going to be going kind of beyond, your typical protein powders and, hardcore HIT workouts and talk about something a little bit different.
Yeah, it's like, you wouldn't build a house by starting with the roof. You
Exactly.
need to build a really solid foundation, and that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah. And that foundation is micros.
Micros.
Right. Those vitamins and minerals that maybe we don't always think about as being super important to fitness, but they're really what makes those macros work.
Absolutely. And, we are really excited to have tapped into Sean, the author of Zero Fitness FucX, for this deep dive. I actually got to chat with him recently, and he's got some pretty awesome insights into this whole world of micros.
Well, yeah, I mean, his book is full of these aha moments that make you just sort of rethink everything,
Oh, totally.
about fitness.
He's not afraid to say what he thinks, and he really challenges the status quo. But what I really appreciate is that he backs everything up with science and real-world experience.
So let's dive right into this zero fitness fucks philosophy.
Yeah.
Then what is the big deal about micros?
Well, it's all about understanding that your body is a complex system and everything needs to be in balance. Sean argues that most people are so focused on hitting their macros,
Right.
like how many grams of protein, carbs, and fat they're eating,
Yep.
that they totally forget about these essential micronutrients that are really the foundation for everything else.
It's funny you should mention that because I was just reading the chapter on magnesium
Oh, yeah.
and how a deficiency in that can actually sabotage your workouts,
Yeah.
even if you're doing all the right things otherwise.
Totally. And that's a perfect example of how Sean connects these seemingly small things like micros to the bigger picture of fitness. Magnesium is essential for energy production, muscle recovery, protein synthesis, all things that are crucial for hitting your fitness goals.
Yeah, it's like trying to run a marathon on an empty stomach.
Yeah.
You might have all the training and willpower in the world, but you're not going to get very far without fuel.
That's exactly right. And that's what magnesium is. It's fuel for your cells. It's involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body,
Wow.
impacting everything from muscle function to sleep quality.
300. That's crazy. So basically what you're saying is if you're low on magnesium, you're kind of shortchanging yourself in the gym,
That's what he argues.
even if you're nailing those macros.
And it's not just theory either. Sean has seen firsthand how addressing magnesium deficiency can help people break through plateaus and reach new levels of performance. He describes cases where people see improvements in their energy levels, muscle recovery, and even their mental focus just by making sure they're getting enough magnesium.
Okay, so how do you know if you're low on magnesium? What are the signs?
Well, Sean outlines a few key things to watch out for in the book, like muscle cramps, fatigue, difficulty sleeping, even feeling irritable and anxious.
Okay.
Of course, these can be symptoms of other things, too. So it's always important to talk to your doctor and get a blood test to check your levels.
That's really good advice because it's so easy to just kind of write off those little things.
Well,
It's oh, it's just stress or, I'm just getting older.
Absolutely. But what Sean really emphasizes is that these seemingly minor symptoms can actually be major roadblocks to reaching your fitness goals.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to crush a workout when you're constantly battling fatigue or muscle cramps.
Right. Yeah, that makes total sense. So you mentioned that Sean kind of challenges a lot of the conventional wisdom around fitness. How does his approach to getting enough magnesium then differ from what we typically hear?
Well, one of the things that really struck me when I was talking to him is that he doesn't jump to supplements right away.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people just immediately think, oh, I'm low on something. I need to go take a supplement.
Right, exactly. And Sean is much more holistic in his approach. He really emphasizes getting as many nutrients as possible from whole, unprocessed foods.
So back to basics.
Yeah, our bodies are designed to absorb nutrients best in their natural form, as opposed to from a synthetic supplement.
So eating real food.
Yes, exactly. And he provides a ton of practical tips in his book on how to make sure you're getting enough magnesium through your diet.
Okay.
Things like incorporating more leafy greens, nuts and seeds, and even things like dark chocolate.
Oh, now you're talking my language.
Right. It's
Yeah.
actually a surprisingly good source of magnesium.
Interesting.
He has a whole section in the book about, the importance of enjoying your food and not depriving yourself.
I like that. That's refreshing. Because so many fitness plans out there kind of make it seem like
Yeah,
you have to give up all the good stuff.
totally. And that's exactly the kind of fitness BS that Sean rails against in his book. He believes that you can enjoy your life and still achieve your fitness goals. And that restriction and deprivation really just set you up for failure in the long run.
I love that.
Yeah.
So, okay, what if you're not getting enough magnesium just through diet alone?
Yeah.
What does Sean recommend?
Well, he does acknowledge that sometimes supplementation can be necessary, especially for people who are very active or have certain dietary restrictions.
Yeah.
But he really stresses the importance of working with a healthcare professional to determine the right type and dosage for you.
So it's not just one size fits all.
Definitely not. And that's something that's emphasized throughout the book. There's no magic bullet, no single diet or supplement that will work for everyone.
Right.
It's about finding what works best for your unique body and lifestyle.
That's so fascinating. I feel like we just scratched the surface here of Sean's approach to micros. But you know what? I think it's probably time for a little intermission here.
Sounds good.
We'll be back in a few minutes to delve a little bit deeper into this world of Zero Fitness FucX and uncover some more of his wisdom.
All right, see you soon.
You've probably seen this all over TikTok. It's called Primus 3, the performance-enhancing electrolyte supplement that's taking the fitness world by storm. Packed with vitamins and amino acids, it's designed to boost your workouts and recovery. Available in delicious flavors, Primus 3 is the secret weapon for athletes and fitness enthusiasts everywhere.
Welcome back to our deep dive. You know, one of the things that Sean talks about in the book, Zero Fitness FucX,
Oh, yeah?
is this idea of debunking myths surrounding supplements.
Oh, supplements. Okay.
What's his take on that? You know, is he pro supplements, against supplements?
Yeah, what's the deal?
Yeah, so he's not totally against them,
Okay.
but he really emphasizes that they should be used strategically,
Right.
not as a Band-Aid for a poor diet.
Right. Yeah, it's so easy to fall into that trap of like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, if I just take this pill, then I don't have to worry about,
Exactly.
my veggies.
And, you know, he calls that out big time in the book. He's all about addressing those root causes, not just masking the symptoms.
Yeah, I remember him saying something like, supplements should complement a healthy lifestyle, not replace it.
Totally spot on. And he even suggests that focusing on getting enough micros through food first can actually make supplements more effective.
Oh, that's interesting. Why is that?
Yeah. He explains that when your body is already nourished with a wide array of nutrients from whole foods, it's better equipped to absorb and utilize those targeted supplements.
Oh, so it's kind of like priming the pump, so to speak.
Exactly. It's about creating an environment where your body can thrive.
I like that. So then where does gut health come into this?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And, you know, Sean talks about this a lot in the book.
Yeah, it seems to be like a really hot topic in general these days.
Absolutely. And he explains that a healthy gut microbiome is essential for nutrient absorption. You know, all those beneficial bacteria in your gut actually help break down food and extract those vital micros.
So even if you're eating all the right things,
Yeah.
if your gut isn't happy, then
You're not absorbing it.
you're not getting the benefits.
Exactly. He calls the gut your second brain,
I love that.
emphasizing its importance for overall health and well-being.
Yeah, and I can see how that would tie into fitness too, right? Because
Totally.
if you're not absorbing the nutrients properly, it doesn't matter how hard you're training.
Absolutely. And he offers some great tips for improving gut health. You know, things like incorporating fermented foods into your diet, managing stress levels, and being mindful of antibiotic use.
Right, so it's kind of this like holistic approach,
Absolutely.
looking at all the different systems in the body and how they're all interconnected.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes Sean's Zero Fitness FucX philosophy so refreshing. He's not giving you a list of rules to follow. He's empowering you to understand your body and make choices that support its overall well-being.
It's about working with your body, not against it.
Exactly. And, you know, one thing that really resonated with me from my conversation with him was this emphasis on self-experimentation.
And what do you mean by that?
You know, he encourages people to become active participants in their health journey.
Okay.
You know, to pay attention to how their body responds to different foods and lifestyle choices and adjust accordingly.
So like becoming your own health detective.
Exactly. He gives you a bunch of tools and strategies in the book for tracking your progress, experimenting with different approaches, and really tuning into your body's feedback.
I love that because I feel like a lot of people just get so intimidated by all the information out there.
Totally. Like, what do I do? It's overwhelming. And his message is all about simplifying things, cutting through the noise, and focusing on the fundamentals
Fundamentals.
that truly matter.
Tuning into your body's own wisdom.
Exactly. And that's where those Zero Fitness FucX come in. You know, it's about letting go of the self-judgment, the perfectionism, the all-or-nothing mentality that so often sabotages our efforts.
It's about giving yourself permission to just be human.
Exactly.
and, make mistakes and learn from them.
Totally. And I think that's a really liberating message, especially in a culture that's so obsessed with quick fixes and instant gratification.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Yeah.
This has been so eye-opening. I feel like I'm already, starting to see fitness in a whole new light.
Me too. And you know what? I think it's probably time for another little intermission.
Yeah, let's take a quick break. We'll be back in a few minutes to wrap up our deep dive into this zero fitness fucks philosophy.
You've probably seen this all over TikTok. It's called Primus 3, the performance-enhancing electrolyte supplement that's taking the fitness world by storm. Packed with vitamins and amino acids, it's designed to boost your workouts and recovery. Available in delicious flavors, Primus 3 is the secret weapon for athletes and fitness enthusiasts everywhere.
Okay, so we're back. And one thing that I keep kind of coming back to is this idea of shifting our focus from external validation to really tuning in with ourselves.
Yeah, it's like he's encouraging us to be the CEOs of our own body.
Yes, exactly. Taking ownership of our health and fitness journey and not just following, someone else's rules.
And that's where that zero fitness fucks attitude comes in handy.
So not caring what other people think or...
It's more than that. It's about releasing that need to conform to these external expectations and really focusing on what feels good for you.
Yeah, tuning into your body's signals.
Exactly. And that's going to look different for everyone, right? For some people, it might mean ditching the restrictive diet that's making them miserable. For others, it might be embracing a workout routine that they genuinely enjoy, even if it's not the trendy thing.
So giving yourself permission to do what works for you. Exactly. And that's so empowering because it takes the pressure off and it allows you to approach fitness from a place of self-care and enjoyment rather than punishment and deprivation.
Yeah, and I remember Sean had this quote in the book that really stuck with me. He said, "Fitness should add to your life, not take away from it."
That sums it up perfectly. It's about finding that sustainable approach to health and fitness that integrates seamlessly into your life and doesn't require you to sacrifice everything else.
So it's not about striving for this unattainable ideal.
No.
It's about creating this healthy lifestyle that you can maintain long term.
And that includes giving yourself grace and flexibility. Sean is a big advocate for what he calls flexible dieting.
Okay.
And not in the sense of restricting and binging, but more in the sense of allowing yourself to enjoy all foods in moderation.
So no good foods and bad foods, just food.
Exactly. He talks about how labeling foods as good or bad creates this really unhealthy relationship with food, and it often leads to guilt and shame. Instead, he encourages people to focus on nourishing their bodies with a variety of foods that they enjoy.
That makes sense. It's about making peace with food.
Yes.
And finding a balance that works for you.
Exactly. And that balance is going to be different for everyone.
Right.
The key is to experiment, pay attention to how your body feels, and adjust accordingly.
So become an active participant in your health journey.
Yes.
Not just a passive follower of the rules.
Exactly. It's about taking back your power and making choices that really support your physical, mental, and emotional well-being.
I love that. This has been such a great conversation. I feel like we've covered so much ground.
We have.
But there's still so much more to explore.
Oh, always.
Yeah.
Health and fitness, it's a lifelong journey of discovery.
That's a great way to put it. So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into zero fitness fucks,
Yeah.
what's the one key message that you want our listeners to take away?
I think the most important thing to remember is that fitness, it's not a destination, it's a process. It's about finding what works for you, listening to your body, and giving yourself permission to enjoy the journey.
I love that.
Yeah.
So embrace that zero fitness fucks attitude, let go of the need to be perfect, and focus on creating a healthy lifestyle that you can actually sustain long term.
And to all our listeners out there, I highly encourage you to pick up a copy of Zero Fitness Fucks by Sean and dive deeper into his unconventional wisdom. It just might change the way you approach your fitness journey forever. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep nourishing your body from the inside out.